Something very weird is happening with the BC Conservative Party. They're being co-opted by NDP activists. But why would the NDP want anything to do with a conservative political party? Well, the only time the BC NDP have ever won an election here, it's because of vote splitting between two free enterprise parties. The BC Conservatives are now beginning to nominate candidates as the election is fast approaching. But sadly, these candidates are not necessarily conservative, not even a little bit. Take their recently nominated candidate in Richmond, Queensborough, Kay Hale. She actually ran for the BC NDP back in 2005. Now I know it's not common, but yeah, sometimes people do switch political parties. But to swap from the far left BC NDP to a party that is supposed to be on the right of the governing BC Liberals, that raises a lot of questions for me. So I called her yesterday to get her side of the story.
For the NDP, the NDP being a left party, left, and Liberal being the right, so I chose to go with the Conservative because they are more like center-right.
Okay. So you actually think the BC Conservative Party isn't as right-wing as the BC Liberals?
You're correct.
I know people disagree if the BC Liberals are center-left, center-right, or somewhere in between, but suggesting the BC Conservatives are running the middle ground between the NDP and Liberals is not exactly what the membership of the BC Conservative Party expects. The BC Conservatives are supposed to be pulling the BC Liberals back to the right as a counterbalance to their liberal tendencies. So when Kay Hale suggests it's important to increase education spending and care for seniors, as she did on the phone with me, well, those are solidly NDP ideas. But she's not alone. Take Nels Harrington, the BC Conservative candidate for Vernon Monashee. While he has no political history with the NDP as far as my research can garner, he does have some very strong views against our oil sands, our pipelines, and one of the most severe cases of Harper derangement syndrome I've seen to date. Just look at some of these Facebook posts of him comparing Prime Minister Harper to Hitler. Does this sound like a conservative to you? Vernon is in the Okanagan, a very conservative part of the province, and despite their faults, the BC Conservatives have actually performed well in this riding the past 3 elections, averaging about 10.5% of the vote each time. Could that be enough to split the vote and allow an NDP victory in Vernon Monashee? I asked Mr. Harrington about the clearly anti-conservative, anti-oil and gas Facebook posts, and he wrote me saying, quote, "With respect to the Facebook memes, my own profile is not public. I enjoy discussing these issues with others in a group, and most of these are a part of a greater conversation. Taken out of that context, they may seem controversial, but are rather meaningless given the plethora of themed pictures one may use to add to a comment to support or contest a position," unquote. Look, I'll just let the memes speak for themselves. Harrington also went on to explain in a rather long-winded email that he wants to see an end to raw log exports and unrefined oil exports from BC. These also happen to be long-standing NDP positions. So it appears my fears have been confirmed that BC Conservatives are being hijacked by NDP ideologues and trying to play the spoiler. Look, the BC Liberals may not be perfect, but we cannot allow another NDP government to take control of this province. For the Rebel.media, I'm Christopher Wilson. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click subscribe. Keep it locked to the Rebel for all your BC election coverage leading up to Election Day, May 9th.